Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer.
And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is raining on the outside. I want to welcome you into Sunshine's Corner, where we inform, inspire, and uplift our community daily. So today I want you to pause and reflect, because remember that Black history is not confined to a month. It is a living legacy. From the bravery of Harriet Tubman, who led countless souls to freedom, to the brilliance of educators, artists, and leaders who built institutions during Reconstruction, of the courage of everyday citizens who stood against all this during the Civil Rights era. I want to talk about this today because Black history is a story of resilience. It's a story of faith, sacrifice, triumph. And as we close Black History Month, we turn our hearts toward Selma, Alabama, where on March 7th, 1965, peaceful marchers seeking voting rights crossed the Edmund Pettus Bridge, and they were met with violence on what became known as Bloody Sunday, which is going to be coming up on March 8th. Leaders like John Lewis and many unnamed heroes stood firm, reminding us that progress often requires courage, and we need it today. So today's conversation challenges us not only to remember history, but to live it, to honor it, and continue the work that's before us. So stand with us, stay here today and reflect, learn, and grow together. I have a historian with me today. I had to have somebody that can talk with me because Mr. Jerry McIntosh, he's a book. And I say that, Jerry, because even though, sure, today may be, well, tomorrow is the last day for Black History Month, for the 1 month that we celebrate. But what we try to convey to people all the time, we don't just celebrate Black history in February, which is the shortest month in the year.
Yeah.
You know, but.
But you know, this is the 100th year since Black History Week.
That's right.
And the progression that has taken place over those 100 years, the things that happened in between the time we had put when Black History Week first became recognized,
right,
has turned to Black History Month. But you know, our history is 365.
I tell it all the time.
Tom Joyner used to say.
That's Tom Joyner. I tell you,
yeah.
I love you, Tom.
Yeah, and he's a historic figure in itself.
Isn't he though? Oh God, he is. But I call you that, Jerry.
Yeah.
Because look, I got all this paper. You got all this stuff right here. I mean, and that's the way we have to have it. Somebody like you to let us know what we still got to do.
But you know, from time and forever, we have passed down oral history. It didn't have to be written on paper to know the truth. You know, the truth is the light, and the oral history that was passed down, because many times people didn't know how to write the English language,
right,
or was not allowed to write down the English language, not allowed to read. You know, so now we're at an inflection point, I would say, where we can do what our ancestors couldn't do, and that we have to remember those who passed down the language, the knowledge to us.
Right.
I can remember my grandfather, who were a part of the Elaine massacres down there. Our land that was there. He would pass down the oral history of what happened. My Uncle Matt, who was also one of the people who lost property and land down there in Elaine, Arkansas.
Really?
In the early 1900s. You know, during that period, it was called the years of bloody, what was it? I forgot the name of, they called it, but they labeled it that. But anyway, I think of it. Anyway, it was so much bloodshed. It was a purge of black people during that period. So black history itself is important, and black history is just as important, because history is a witness against or for
Exactly.
whatever
I agree.
whatever is there.
I agree.
Or whatever happened in the past.
Right.
So we have so much history that.
Do you think history's repeat itself?
Yeah, in a sense, and this is why is it important that we teach history. See, our children need to know history.
That's the part I'm worried about.
And our children need to know history so that when they are questioned on their history, they can teach others about that history. Not only do our children, whites and others need to know the history of what happened, the cruelty of what happened during the period of slavery, when enslaved. See,
exactly.
Most people use the word, slaves were brought here. No, these was intellectual people who were brought here.
Exactly.
These were people with skills and knowledge that was brought here. They were people who knew how to break horses, who knew how to build.
We were cowboys.
Yeah. We were building empires before anybody else was doing it.
Exactly.
Because we are the original people of the earth.
Exactly.
Everything lead back to the origin. When they want to find the origin of things, they go back to Africa. Because everything is there. Most people don't even know what the Garden of Eve is. It is the whole continent of Africa. It is the whole continent.
I'm being educated.
Because what you get out of there, you get exotic animals, you get titanium, you get uranium, you get gold, you get silver, the finest copper, cobalt. Everything that runs the world is coming out of Africa, on the continent of Africa. When you want to put some animals in the zoo, where you go where they are at.
Exactly.
So
the zebra,
the
giraffe, all that good stuff.
Everything that you can name is on the continent. They'll tell you that. I forgot Wheatley wrote about the dark continent. But Africa has never been a dark continent.
That's right.
Africa has been the light that has lit up the world.
Exactly.
Where the world go to get its resources. And this is why people are kept in fighting each other over resources in that continent. This is why it is so important that we understand what Ibrahim Traoré is doing in Africa, in Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso, and all of that, and these other countries.
You know what, Jerry? You name enough names now, but more than Harriet Tubman.
I mean, but it goes back way further than that.
Exactly.
It goes, so the history of our people is so much deeper than that, but we don't know. It's just like when they hear the pharaohs. Most people don't know that there was a position you obtained. It was not, it wasn't one pharaoh, it was many pharaohs. There were women who were pharaohs.
Exactly.
Like presidents, all of them weren't bad.
That's right.
Like all presidents not bad.
That's where I was going, right?
So there were good people and there were bad people. Positions of power can corrupt quickly if you're not advised, got good advisors around you to make sure that you stay humble in a sense.
I understand.
But you got to have some kind of ego to be there. But ego don't mean that you allow yourself to become corrupt in that process.
Most certainly. And I see, as we talk to this historian this morning, he takes me back, he made me think about Dr. Gates, right? I mean, you see that doing just like Dr. Gates, okay? Dr. Lewis Gates. But this is why we wanted you here today, because of the fact that we want to really place so much in our viewers' thought process that we're not just going to wait to talk about this in February, that this is something that has to be talked about all the time. And yes, I'll say this. We're going to talk about it a lot because it's being challenged now. It's being pointed at now. So we would be really subdued to sit back and don't say nothing.
Right. There are those who like the governor of this state.
Yep.
that we live in. They want to erase
Erase it all.
You know, the administration, this regime that we have in power now, want to erase history. They purge the most intelligent people in the country,
Right.
black women, over almost 500,000
That's
out
right.
of government. We were, you know, those women was helping to run the country properly.
Exactly.
And make
That's
it.
why they were. That's why they were went after them.
Yeah. So they, I mean, can you imagine that? You know, that's like firing all of Pensacola.
That's a lot of. I mean, just to do that in such a short span of time.
You know, and we're talking about black women now.
Black women only.
They own the statistics shows that these are the most educated people on the planet. There's no doubt, and
Right.
there's never been any doubt among us who
Right.
already knew that.
that.
You know, but their own statistics shows that. And so, why would you want to get rid of that kind of intellectual intelligence? You know, just for GP. You know, so what we recognize that they fear. You know, there
That's
are
the
those
question.
who
What
fear.
is the fear? Because we're smart.
Exactly.
What is the fear that?
Because black women challenge the status quo all
Right.
the time.
Exactly.
They always have. You know, when you know, we saw the leadership as males in the civil rights movement, but behind that were all the women who were doing all the legwork, the foot, you know, the foot soldiers who
Of
were
course,
there.
of course.
You know, you don't. They don't talk about Dorothy Heights, who was there all the way through the movement. She was the only woman sitting at the table.
That's right.
But she was the one helping to make sure that everything run right.
Exactly.
You know, it's so many that you can name. You know, when you go back to, and you was talking about Harriet Tubman, that was courage. That was bold.
That's what I'm saying. That took so much courage
Yeah.
to do what she did.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
did it so successfully.
Yeah, and went back and forth.
That's what I'm saying. Back and forth. Back and forth.
And what most people don't realize, she was a spy during the Civil War. This sister was, when you read about her life, she was one of the baddest sisters.
Go on, Miss Harriet.
Yeah, well, because she could go into places where nobody paid her no attention because they just thought of her as a maid. You know, even though back then they put a $50,000 reward on her head. That's like, you know, can you imagine that? That's somewhere around $1 million now that would be on her head for freeing people from the bondage
that they were in.
Enslavement.
Right.
You know, not people who were slaves, but being enslaved.
Absolutely.
You know, and one of the things that I admired about her, so, you know, that she was so gratefully misunderstood, I would say, because, you know, when you read about her life, the courage that it took.
That's right.
You know, you done got free. You know, you got to go back into the same.
Back into that same hole you were in.
That's like going through hell.
Come out for a minute and go back.
Yeah, with gasoline draws
Unbelievable.
on. You know?
I mean, she was also a nurse.
Yeah.
I read that she was a nurse. And I know what you think of. Look at even back then, how many titles she had.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why they put that $50,000 reward on her head, because they knew that she was smart. And I'll say that because you see, she wasn't scared. She came back. Right. She kept doing what she was doing to free her people.
And she kept that big gun with her too. You know, you weren't turning back. Once you come, you going. You going all the way, or you gonna die right here.
Hello.
And you going to freedom. You know.
That's right.
So the thing about it, that was what was so powerful to me when you read her life story. And how she challenged the status quo, you know. And when you go back and look at the women of the era,
exactly,
they were always challenging the status quo. And they was, you know, because most of the time the men would be lynched, they would be killed or beaten to the point of death. And then they poured salt in the wound to make it even worse.
Exactly.
Can you imagine?
Oh my God.
Your back is cut up into like
Jesus.
pieces, and
I mean,
then
that's
somebody
got to
dumps
be
salt in the
Oh,
wound.
I can imagine.
Can you imagine somebody raping you, beating you to a point of death, and then turn around and rape you before the public? Where the baby, it was written that the baby would recoil in the woman's stomach when they saw that. So the baby was already come here psychologically damaged because it didn't hit the DNA of that child. So
God.
People don't even realize that. Then they had places where
Did you say they raped them in public?
In public, and beat them right there, and then turn around and rape them to destroy the men. Destroy the men, make the woman strong.
Right.
Men physically strong.
I understand.
But mentally
that tore them
destroyed.
down.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the whole goal, and it worked for a long period of time. And this is why I'm doing my theme on the drum, the call of the drum. When they figured out that we were talking on the drum,
hello,
they banned the drum.
Exactly.
The drum was
You're
banned
right.
for a long time.
I remember watching the movies. They would talk with the drums.
Oh yeah, the different tribes were called together by the drum.
Exactly.
And so when they went into Africa, they banned the drum. They banned the drum on the shores. They banned the drum from us, so we could not talk to each other in different languages.
Exactly.
The drum was a
Hold
whole
on a
different
minute, Jerry, because I hear somebody's, I don't know what that I hear, but look, you may hear this noise in the background that somebody's tapping, but please, 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 we are trying our best to get upstairs, and we are in that process again, and bear with us. It won't be long. Jesus is round the bend. I mean, come on. I mean, and we're gonna take a break and we'll come back, okay?
Okay.
We're gonna talk more about Black history right here. I mean, let's talk about it on Sunshine's Corner.
Good day, Pensacola. Welcome to a new segment on health and wellness sponsored by Baptist Healthcare in partnership with Sunshine's Corner. Every first Wednesday of the month during Sunshine's telecast, we're going to be bringing you information about health and wellness and ways to make sure we're improving the quality of your health care here in Pensacola. After all, we want to ensure that you're going to the right place at the right time and for the right reason, and that you don't feel alone. Can't wait to see you.
At FPL, we plan for storm season all year long. We're strengthening poles to better withstand severe weather. We're clearing lines to improve resiliency, and we're constantly training teams to act at a moment's notice. Because we're always working, always preparing. So when storms do hit, you can count on us. FPL, working for you every single day.
Get a fresh cut and a fresh start at AHW Barber Academy. We focus on growth. Join us at 3822 North 9th Avenue, Pensacola, for a top-notch $6 haircut while supporting aspiring barbers. Our students learn in a real-world setting, guided by experienced professionals to become licensed barbers. Need a cut or a new career? Visit AHW Barber Academy or call 850-692-9298.
I'm Emily Echeverria, Marketing Communications Director for Council on Aging of West Florida and the host of Coming of Age. Watch our show to find out what we're doing for our seniors and their families, and hear from area experts and local business owners about their programs and services. Want to help? Find out how you can work with us to bring a better future to our seniors. Watch Coming of Age, 3:30 p.m. Wednesdays, only on Blab TV.
And welcome back to the hottest spot in town. We're talking about a topic today that should be discussed at all times. We've got our historian here. We're talking Mr. I want to call you Mr. Historian. I'm not going to call you that, Jerry, but you've got all the history there is. We're talking about Black history. We're talking about the things that even happen in today. Mm-hmm. How things are, it is so, you just know it. Mm-hmm. And now it's like it's given out with okay, I can do this. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm pretty sure you walked in places, you've experienced it yourself. The feelings that you get, the whispers,
Oh yeah.
the looks, the eyes.
Yeah, I grew up in the '60s. So.
Come on now.
So the '50s and the '60s.
Right.
I saw things
Exactly.
that propelled me to want to. And my mom was one who wanted me to learn everything I could about history, about our people.
Right.
And because many times, our parents didn't get the higher education. My granddad, I think he had a 4th grade education.
Exactly.
But that dude
My
could count-
daddy
he
had
could
a
count
6th
some
grade.
money. He could count some
But
money.
look, you couldn't cheat my daddy in no way. He had that. Look, you think? Oh, I don't think that's right. You better do that again. But you couldn't fool him.
No. They may have not had that this so-called education here, but they had other education. They were smart in other ways. My granddad was a carpenter. He did all kinds of work.
Exactly.
He could lay foundations, draw blueprints, and all that stuff with that 4th grade education.
Exactly.
And he knew how to use iron and steel, to make things with it. So, and he taught me a lot of it. I do, mostly if something happened to my house, I can fix it myself.
Exactly. And you said something that was powerful. We got to learn how it's good to have your own. Our community, we need to get to have our own.
Yeah, we do. And it's, then the great part about it, we did it before.
That's right.
But it was burnt to the ground.
It was burned to the ground.
Every time. Over 60 towns and cities that we built,
Exactly.
including Chicago.
Exactly.
Was burnt to the ground because people got jealous because we used to turn our money over with each other because we didn't have a choice.
Exactly. And we need to do that again.
And came the illusion of integration, where we had to debase ourselves, lower our self, so somebody else could get what, take what was rightfully ours. And over the years, we in this country did free labor for 400 years in this country. We were 400 years behind. Then they'll have the nerve to ask us, why are you in the condition that you're in? I'm like,
exactly.
Did you not forget? You're in the condition you are in because of our free labor.
Exactly.
The country is, all of the inventions that this country has.
Who did it?
We did that.
Exactly.
We did that. There are some things, starting way back during slavery, we did those things because it made the work easier on us.
Exactly.
And so we was inventing stuff all the time, but it went to the master.
Exactly. Take the credit for it.
Yeah, they took the credit, and they gave us the patent number.
Thank you.
But we didn't get no money from it.
Thank you. So therefore, they knew what they were doing.
Yeah. So
they knew what they were doing,
yeah,
it's unbelievable. And I say that, Jerry, because even today. And I say that because I want my 2 kids. I don't want them to ever get relaxed.
No, you can't.
I don't want them to get relaxed, and I mean, and your kids. I don't want you to get relaxed because if you get relaxed and you see what's happening in the world today, come on now, somebody want to talk to you about that history. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Queen. How are you?
Wonderful. How about you?
Oh, I'm blessed, and I'm, as Kingdom Walk would say, dealing with the rest.
Come on now.
I'm so glad to see my brother there and to see Jerry there, and the subject is very, very important.
Yes.
And I just wanted to put in my little 2 cents. We have to understand that self-knowledge produces self-love. And this is to borrow a phrase from Dr. Naeem Akbar. Self-knowledge produces self-love. And, scripturally it says that my people perish for a lack of knowledge.
That's right.
So it's the lack of knowledge of self that we need, and there's nothing racist about that.
Not at all.
Everybody does it. I was a science major, and every time we started a new chapter in our chemistry book or our biology book, they had the image of some guy, some dude, who usually was of European descent. And you had to know that person and give credit to that person.
That's right.
For whatever they were doing, and so that ingrained in your mind that they did everything and you didn't do much of anything.
Thank you.
So But it's important, as Jerry mentioned, it's important to know ourselves and know our history. And I want to congratulate Jerry for taking us across the ocean, because a lot of us, we don't even want to go out there and get in the water. We don't want to go across that Atlantic Ocean.
You got that right.
We don't want to go to the real foundation, and that's unfortunate.
I agree.
Because if we don't know those facts and information, Jerry mentioned all of the minerals that came out of the continent, and Jerry, I wanted to add to that lithium, which you have to have now. Nowadays, and they are finding ways to get the lithium and control of the lithium on the continent. That's why you have a cell phone. That's why you have an electric car, et cetera, et cetera.
Exactly.
So there's just all sorts of things that were started or that originated on the continent, and we need to embrace that.
I agree.
We need to embrace that.
I agree.
Don't be afraid. Massa ain't gonna come and get you.
Who's not gonna come and get you? Massa ain't gonna come get you.
Massa.
There you go.
And Massa knows a lot of this stuff himself.
Exactly.
So let's get out of this fear and let's come into the modern times. Let's stand up straight, know ourselves and love ourselves.
I agree.
And now Sonshine, you talk a lot about the youth.
Right.
And the importance of trying to change and save the behavior of our youth. Well, they're empty vessels because we haven't taught them about who they are. They don't even know who they are.
Exactly.
I agree.
So Massa come along and tell them who they are. The corporations, et cetera, they create these images, or they take people who are below average among us. And all people have people among them that are below average. They take those people from among us and stand them up.
Exactly.
To our youth. And they give them money. They give them all types of advantages, and they glamorize these folks. And they tell them, this is who you are. So our young people imitate what they see, and they imitate those among us who are probably below average.
Right.
Have been lifted up, and our young people mimic and copy their behavior.
That's right.
So in effect, our behavior of our young people is being controlled by other than ourselves.
Exactly. I agree.
So we got to learn about who we are. We got to learn that first of all, what other people could have survived. What we've been through. Take a look at that.
You said a mouthful then. That's right.
Say it again.
I said you said a mouthful. I said that's right. You are so right.
Nobody else can do it.
That we are important. That shows us that we are valuable. That shows us that God loves us. That we have survived. That we have survived what no other people have been able to survive.
I agree.
So I don't mean to take up too much of the time, but I get worked up on certain subjects now.
I let you be. Come on, let's get worked up together.
But anyway, we have got to teach ourselves and our children who we are and how far we have come, and we need to not be afraid to go across that ocean to see the ancient history and what the African people have done for the advancement of civilization.
Amen.
Thank you, Queen, for letting me. I have a few minutes.
Thank you, love. Always. Thank you.
Keep doing what you do, Jerry.
There you go.
You too,
Thank you, love. All right, bye-bye.
All right.
And everybody, we're talking about things that are so prevalent today because when you look at even not the bigger things that he's talking about, the lack of knowledge that our young people don't have, we are the ones that's got to educate them, but don't let them think that these material things that they're handing them is it.
Right.
Because that's just a facade, because they know that's what they're going to go for, because that's what they see.
One of the statements he made is the resilience of our people. And nobody could have stood for what we had. Nobody, even though they tried it, nobody could survive it. You think about over 100 million people, you think about that's like 1/3 of America being destroyed. Over 100 million people died in doing the Middle Passage, worked to the point of death every day, because, you was for refilling your cargo. Many people died on the high seas, during the Middle Passage. Right. Millions, because and the sharks followed the ships because they know they were going to have a steady diet of bodies. Come on now. Many ships went down fully loaded with black bodies into the bottom
In this
of the
day and
ocean.
age, Jerry, where we are here at 2026, and where we see that things of what they're trying to do. I mean, and I'm going to say this to our community. Why can't we come on? Let's get together.
And I think that there's a push toward that now.
I hope so.
I think people are beginning to see what they're gonna have to do, you know, and not just us, but when you know, I wanted to see how long whites would sustain the protest that they have against the No King Day.
Exactly.
And with that, they have done, you know,
I've been keeping up with that too.
But going back to Africa, you know, what we survived was no other people on the planet could have done it.
Exactly.
You know, and to be where we are today.
Exactly.
With the knowledge that we have today, we survived the ocean. People was sick in holds of ships, had to sit in their own waste for months at a time.
My God.
Before that, let's go back to the door of no return.
That's right.
They had to stand in their waist up to their knees almost in these dungeons.
Exactly.
Treated, you know, so many of them went mad, you know.
It's enough to bring you mad.
Yeah, it was. You know, think about if it's almost to your
knees,
and
how long you been there?
And your babies. Your babies got to sit in that.
My God.
You know, you think about that. You know, and we haven't dealt with that. Black people haven't dealt with that.
No, we haven't.
Because, you know, that's a psychological trauma that has been passed down, and it put markers on our DNA.
Exactly.
You know, scientifically, they know that. And it has, and the fear that sometimes is part of our DNA
exactly.
from back then. People don't know how that psychologically affected them. Then after we get to the shores, to be beaten, to strip naked in front of, you know, all your dignity is taken away. You put on an auction block, butt naked. God. People examine you like an animal, you know, and then to be auctioned off from your family, you know, and allowing the mother to have the baby to suckle on her breast for a few days and then snatch them and sell them away.
That's got to be just
you know,
unbelievable. We got a call. Somebody want to ask you something else, Jerry. I mean, we got more to talk to you today. Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, Sonshine.
Hi.
It's Nita Welcome. Hey, honey, how you doing?
Hey, twin.
Hey, there you got my twin on TV today, Sonshine. That's my twin.
I hear you. Your twin. I got it.
Yes, we share the same birthday, so we call each other twins.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Same days.
Yes, but I just wanted, excuse me, to make a comment on Jerry that he's such a strong leader, and we truly appreciate his leadership. Now, Jerry has a wealth of knowledge about the things that goes on here in Pensacola, his hometown, and anywhere he visits, Tallahassee, he has a wealth of knowledge. And what I really like about him is that if you have a problem, an issue, bring it to him, and he will try to support you, stand up for you, and to show you that we're here for you.
Absolutely.
And Pensacola we just appreciate Jerry.
We need more like him.
We need more like Jerry because we have problems, but we don't stick together. We do not stick together. And if we stick together, we get more done.
We'll be a force to be reckoned with.
That's right. That's right. So I just enjoy his strength. I appreciate his strength, and it's none like him. We've been friends for years.
That's right.
For years, and we just celebrated our birthday, and he was on TV yesterday. Yes, he was on TV his birthday. So I just want to thank him again, and appreciate you for having him on your show, because we all can learn something from Jerry.
Exactly.
But I just wanted to say that.
Thank you,
Thank
Nita.
you, dear.
All right, love.
You're welcome.
All right. And
Have a good day now.
You too,
Okay.
love. We're having a day today because we're talking about the end of the month of Black History, but we're celebrating Black History every day. We got to run and take a break. We got to go take our Black History spot that's being brought to you by AHW Barber Academy, where you can go there and listen at this. Ace and the guys, 8 months. They'll get you your license. You can cut your own hair. And of course, we want to thank my good friend there at Joe Morrison's Son Funeral Home, David Hawkins, where they are there for you in your time of need. Here's our Black History Note for today from Sunshine's Corner.
The months following the Civil War and the start of Reconstruction offered African Americans in the South hope for equality. It also offered the possibility of owning land. Within months, African Americans would be betrayed by a harsh reality. You probably heard the phrase 40 acres and a mule. Here's what happened. In January 1865, a meeting in Savannah, Georgia, between Union military leader General William Tecumseh Sherman and a group of 20 black ministers resulted in a plan to redistribute confiscated and abandoned Confederate land from South Carolina to Florida. They called the land Sherman's Reserve. Newly freed slaves would be allocated 40 acres of land along with a mule. The phrase, which became well known even then, spread quickly. The plan had the potential to revolutionize race relations in the South and the economic future of the African American community.
The significance about formerly enslaved being given the land that they had actually worked was that they would be able to generate wealth as well as create wealth generationally.
By the summer of 1865, thousands of black families had settled on portions of the Sherman Reserve and were excited to plot their futures. But later that year, as part of his Reconstruction plan, actually intended to appease the former Confederacy, President Andrew Johnson abruptly canceled the order, giving the land back to its previous owners.
The United States had the opportunity to make it possible for the formerly enslaved people to be economically independent, and the country failed to do it.
That initial meeting more than 100 years ago between General Sherman and Savannah's leading black ministers was historic. At least for a brief moment in history, the opinion of black leaders had led directly to a radical public policy initiative. Remarkably, over a century and a half later, on June 19, 2019, the House of Representatives held a hearing on H.R. 40, a bill named in honor of the famous phrase, 40 acres and a mule. The bill would establish a commission to study the concept of reparations for slavery and Jim Crow segregation, including the merits of a formal apology by the United States government.
And welcome back to Black History Special Day. Let's talk about it. I was just telling Jerry, because I got to share this, that was Danny Glover, that picture that popped up. You know, I got to meet him when he was in Selma. Back when President Obama was, and I told him, I said, you know what, I don't like you because you played Mr. So Good on Color Purple. He played that part to a T. He played it. But now, as you were saying, it was some points you want to make.
History itself.
Huh?
That Color Purple was history.
Was history itself.
It was showing the different diverse things that happened in communities back then. Because of how men control women and things of that nature.
And I think that's why women are so strong today.
But I was talking about the coming across of the Atlantic. Two things. One, there was a wall in Benin that was much bigger than the wall of China, the Great Wall of China. They talk about that, but they don't talk about the one in Benin.
Right.
They don't tell you that in Africa you could say America, Great Britain, Germany, China, all considered on the continent of Africa.
Exactly.
But when they turned the map upside down, it looked like Africa was this big.
Of course.
You know, but Africa is the largest continent on earth.
Exactly.
So, you know, you can sit all these other countries in there and still have plenty of room.
Right.
You know, but anyway, coming across and what we went through, the lynching, you know, after the convict leasing laws, you could be arrested for vagrancy, you know, if you didn't have a job. The land that was taken from us, the Great Migration, where we had to leave the South and go to the North and go into conditions that were just as bad, but we just weren't being lynched there as much.
I got
but
you.
then the brutality of law enforcement came down on us. You know, white racists came after us, you know, and still in the city. You know, there were many riots, not from us, but from them, that was blamed on us, you know, because they was jealous of us. You know, we came out of enslavement with skills.
Exactly.
Because we were the one that was building the houses. We were the one doing the farm work. We were the one breaking the horses and mule. That's why we was called cowboys. They didn't respect us as cowmen, but cowboys.
And you think that some people don't know that we were the first cowboys.
Yeah. I mean, then you think about the people that used to do the horse racing. The jockeys was all black.
All black.
You know, so the history of our people is so rich. You know, when you go back and talk about Carter G. Wilson, you go back and talk about Washington.
That's right.
You know, W.E.B. Du Bois, talked about the double conscious. You know, I mean, just a whole host of brothers and sisters. You know, Sojourner in Truth, Ain't I a Woman? You know, see, I mean, just a whole host. Fannie Lou Hamer, who were, you know, beaten and, you know, take her womb taken out while she was in the hospital, so she couldn't have children. You know, and she wasn't just the only one. There was many more that, you know, over the years that took place. And still, you know, when women would go in with a tumor, a small tumor, they got a hysterectomy, black women.
So they wouldn't be able to
produce children. You know, but before then, they wanted women to produce children so they could be good slaves, you know, to be good, you know. And what happened during that period, and my theme this is Saturday, the call of the drum.
Okay, talk about that, because you're going to have a Black History breakfast, right?
Right.
Tomorrow on the last day.
On the last day, on Saturday.
Saturday, which is the 28th of February.
Right.
Going to kick off at what time?
The 8:30 doors open. We start eating exactly 9 o'clock. you gonna be up?
Ooh, Jesus.
Yeah, but we're gonna start the breakfast at 9. Then we're gonna have some other people to do some poems and other things.
Right.
And then I will speak on the call of the drum.
Right.
Because the drum went silent during the middle passage.
That's right.
But there were still drum beats.
I got you.
Drum beats on the plantations. And then when the people would sing, you know, nobody know the trouble I see. You know, nobody know but Jesus, you know. And give me the good ship Jesus. Most people don't know that people was talking about that ship that brought them over, which was named Jesus.
That's right.
You know, they didn't know Jesus from anybody else, but they knew the name of that good ship, Jesus, that we were
That's
on,
why they were
that brought us over here, and they wanted that ship to take them back.
Hello.
You know,
wow.
You know, so that in itself was some deep stuff, and you would all.
They had to find a way to convey the message.
Yes, you say if this is what I'm stuck with, then I got to try to make it good for me. So religion, as we know it today, was forced on us. That religion,
right?
Christianity was forced on us. You know, we had different kinds of religions and, you know, different faith.
Right.
That we used. You know, what they call witch doctors. These were medical people, scientists. You know, they weren't no witch doctors. They knew how to use nature to heal one another. The reason we have vaccines today and the use of needles, it was a black man in slavery that taught them how to use vaccine and use the needles to use that vaccine.
That's right.
So all of the things that we rely on today, 99% of it came from us.
And they know that too. You
Yeah.
got somebody else want to talk to you, Jerry.
Okay.
You getting them fired up. Good morning.
Good morning, Liz.
How are you?
Good morning.
Miss Sonshine.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning.
There's a song, If You Had a Choice of Colors.
Which one would you choose, my brother?
Come on, that's right. we in America, we are the strongest of our people. And I've said that continuously because the weak ones died in the belly of the ships. And just like Jerry said, sometimes entire shiploads would be pushed off, chained together, so they wouldn't find the cargo that they were carrying. Jesse Jackson, who we're getting ready to honor, said at one time, we may have all come to America on different ships, but we all are riding on the same boat right now.
That's right.
God blessed me with my own personal African over 20 years ago. His name is David Cujo Wambibi Izanreti. He's the former heavyweight champion of all of the continent of Africa, and he won the silver medal in the Barcelona, Spain Olympics in the heavyweight division. He can speak 5 different tribal languages, and he went to school under the cover of trees in Nigeria. He has taught me so much about our homeland.
Right.
And I've learned from him so much. One thing that he emphasizes, no people on the earth have shown as much love and forgiveness than the people of color in Africa. Look what Nelson Mandela did when he got control of the government. He didn't go after those people and do what they did to us. He wanted us to come together. The fear, Sonshine, is that people of color will turn around and do to them what they did to us in the past. But we're not about that now. We are true Americans. We have done so much. There's a book. I want everybody to hear this. There's a book called 1001 Things that everyone should know about African American history.
Exactly.
It's by Jeffrey C. Stewart. Get that book. Educate yourself. Pick up yourself. Stand strong. Throw your shoulders back. Throw your head up and know who you are.
Amen.
You're God's chosen people.
Amen.
Thank you, Sonshine.
Thank you, darling.
Jerry, good to see you, brother.
Same here.
Supernatural blessings on you, and carry on doing what the Lord wants you to do, man.
Amen.
Thank you,
We're
brother.
right behind him. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to go take our last break. We're going to be back in just a little bit right here with more Black history for you on Sunshine's Corner.
You finally found the perfect car in racing blue. You even got them to throw in the LED fog lights for free. Auto Owners insures your car because some people never learn to parallel park. That's simple human sense.
Ask the Messick Insurance Agency in Pensacola if Auto Owners make sense for you.
Keep going. More. No, stop!
My name's Kelly McLeod. I'm the owner of Bella Magazine. Bella is a source of uplifting and inspiring content for the women of Pensacola.
I think the magazine is just so thoughtfully done. There's a lot of attention to detail. The stories are really good.
You've got seriousness, you've got fun, education, fashion. It just encompasses everything.
Women are multidimensional, and so is Bella.
From the efficiency of American natural gas and the dependability of nuclear power, to the strength of Florida's sunshine and the flexibility of advanced battery storage systems, we leverage a diverse mix of energy sources to power our growing state, ensuring reliable, low-cost power for your home or business whenever you need it. FPL, working for you every single day.
Well, I think it's all about local. and I'm a big believer in local. So I think anytime you can carry a message out locally, it's important. And I think it's anytime the person that delivers the service can also deliver the message, which is unusual. You have the people that actually deliver the project doing the talking, and I think that's a huge difference, and really makes a huge value difference for the consumer. So I'm really just so grateful that we have this local opportunity with Blab TV. My name is Quint Studer, and I am Blab TV.
They ran off the land.
And welcome back. I tell you, I can't even think straight. Jerry, you are educating me today. And I think that sometimes in this life, the simple things, as simple as respect, is hard to get.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
Respect is one of the hardest things that is to get.
Exactly, and there are reasons for that, because people don't really want you to know who you really are.
They don't.
Because they know who you really are.
Exactly, they know the power and the strength that you have.
Yeah, because if you really knew who you were, if black men and women really knew who they were,
exactly,
and the power that they carry, the Spirit of God is upon us
exactly
all the time, because we are the original people of the earth, from
exactly,
and everything came from us.
Exactly.
And this is what people don't want you to know.
Exactly.
That,
it happens all the time.
They had the Chinese to do a search on DNA, and the further they went back, the further into Africa it had to go.
Of course.
Because the original people that was in China are from Africa.
Most certainly,
and
most certainly.
Japanese.
It's behooving. And to the person that was texting me, again, I apologize. I truly apologize. I'm sure you can see it on my face that I apologize from the bottom of my heart. And this is why we're talking about what we're talking. I don't want the person that's reaching out to me to think that I ignored them. Can't answer the phone, but I did get your text. But I appreciate the fact that you're bearing with us. You know what I'm saying? But what's the old song people say? Soon I'll be done
with the
troubles of this world. You know what I'm saying?
Those songs came out of the cotton field.
That's right. You know what I'm saying? But what they had to do to get us where we are today. Yeah. But I want to skip over because we're getting close to the top. I want to talk about now as we evolve over to what's coming up on March 8th, which is going to be Bloody Sunday in Selma, Alabama. And I want to encourage of those who've never visited or been there on Bloody Sunday, I encourage you to go.
Yeah, well,
you will be amazed at what you will find out if you would go.
Well, see, the symbol of, we need to go to, because that's how we got our voting rights.
Exactly.
Because of the march from Selma to Montgomery. And in the face of George Wallace at the time, who said you would never come to Montgomery. You would never make it to Montgomery. They made it to Montgomery.
They did.
And Martin Luther King, he said, we are here, and the whole world know we are here. And you will. In other words, we don't fear you.
That's right.
We don't fear what you can do. We know you have the power to do it, but we're going to continue to struggle on anyway.
Exactly. Exactly.
Frederick Douglass said, if there's no struggle, there's no progress.
None.
So
we struggling, baby.
But the thing about it, we have to struggle together. That means that we and white people.
That's right.
I think if
they took the time to understand, to learn the culture.
But when you've been taught all your life that you are the center of everything, you ignore what's right there in your face.
Exactly. That's a fear.
Yeah, and that has too often happened with our white sisters and brothers. They have been the center of everything.
Exactly.
And everything is built and centered around them.
Exactly.
Everybody else is ignored. People say, this is un-America, what we see that's happening to people being thrown into detention. Well, it's a concentration camp. It's not a detention center. How do you build for tens of thousands of people to be put into a concentration camp if you are deporting them.
Exactly.
You don't need that if you are deporting them.
Exactly.
But you got to have free labor, and that's not going to end with them. These things are being built for us as well.
I agree.
And so we have to be in this fight. I will be out there on the 28th on No King's Day because we have to fight.
That's right.
This struggle it belongs to us
real.
as well.
That's right.
Every generation has the responsibility to make sure the next generation has
that
a better
same
life.
knowledge,
Yeah,
so they can continue on with the fight.
Yeah, we have the responsibility to do that.
It is.
And
Jerry, I can't believe we down to the last few minutes. Like, Jesus Christ. Hallelujah. But you know, I want to thank you for that, coming in with me today to share with that, because I want to really focus on the point of what we don't know all about Africa. Probably went back to richest continent there is, for people to learn why things are pointed toward us today. It's just a repercussion in a bigger way now than it was then. Even with the civil rights trying to be targeted, even with your history trying to be taken away, can't take away what we live. So therefore, we got to make sure that our younger people are aware. Thank you for all that you do in the community.
I used to tell our students, knowledge is power.
That's it. I use that word all the time.
And the use of that knowledge is power.
That's right.
Don't get knowledge and then sit on
Hold it in your hand.
Yeah, you know.
Use it up. And I mean, it's amazing. It blows my mind. You know what I'm saying? It blows my mind. And and on the inside, it troubles me. And you know, when I use these things here, it troubles me on the inside a whole lot. But I want to say to you, thank you for the hard work that you do. Thank you for the people that are viewing. Again, I say thank you so very much. I apologize for all of the noise you heard today. And but look, to God be the glory. The devil is busy. But ladies and gentlemen, we got to get out of here. But I want to leave you as I do every day. Never lose your focus no matter what. Never lose your focus no matter what. Always remember to keep God first in whatever you do. I believe that, and from my heart. And if you do that, I know you're going to be a total success no matter what may come. So until Monday for another day of sunshine, know that I love you with a perfect kind of love. Be over at Jerry for the Black History Breakfast in the morning at Sheila's, right there on Cervantes at 8:30. So until then, my friends, know that I love you with a perfect kind of love. Keep shining while I'm gone.
Sunshine's Corner, being brought to you by Quint and Richie Studer.